to the cloud.
Exactly. Now the head cluster battery power will reduce. Now, if the head cluster takes the data from the other nodes and again it sends to the cloud, that case its battery will get reduced. That is what are the solution or precautions we take.
Yes, sir. The head, sir. For that, sir, head cluster, sir, defined cluster can become head cluster. Means one can swap between head clusters. Other clusters can also become head clusters. Sir. That's how it is.
Yes, yes. Right. Okay. Fine. So this is basic structure of XMPP protocol. For sending the data, you are right that the huge amount of bandwidth is required. At the same time, it works as a decentralized protocol. Now today we will start the wireless sensor network, which is a part of IoT. Internet of Things. So what is basically wireless sensor network? So it's a IoT,
Hello, sir.
whatever the IoT devices we are sent to the field, so they are mainly structured on the wireless. They are mainly their working principle is basically based on wireless sensor network because all the IoT devices are sensors basically. Now, how the sensors are connected with each other, how they are sending the data from one node to the source to the sink. Because here you can see this one is a tower that is taking the data. So that tower will be considered as the source sink, and these are the sensor node, and this will be considered as the source. So from source to sink, how we are sending the data in a network structure, that is the basic principle of wireless sensor network. So the definition is wireless sensor network is a wireless network consisting of specially distributed autonomous devices. Specially spelling is little bit different. SPATIALLY. So this means that geographically. This specially means that geographically. Okay. Geographically distributed autonomous devices. Each of the devices, why they are called autonomous devices? Because these devices battery powers are set up by those devices. They are harnessing the power by themselves. They are generating the power by themselves, and they don't depend on anybody. That is why they are called autonomous devices. Okay. So wireless sensor network consisting of specially distributed autonomous devices using sensors to cooperatively monitor physical and environmental conditions such as temperature, sound, vibration, pressure, motion, or pollutants at different locations. So those sensors will take the temperature data, will take the sound data, vibration data, pressure data, motion data, pollutant data from the different locations. Okay. Now the wireless sensor nodes are two types. One is the stationary, another is the mobile. Here you can see that in the early architecture, you can see that these are the. Can you see the earlier architecture? Yes. Sorry. Yeah, now it's okay. So now you can see that here the blue and red ones are the sensors, and they are sending the data. Actually, in this case, they are sending the data not directly from this mobile node to the tower. Their data. Suppose if it is the pressure data, they are not sending it directly. What they are doing? Because if I want to send this data directly, that case the power dissipation will be more because the distance from this tower to this mobile node is huge. Instead of this, what they are doing, they are sending in a multi-hop manner. Means that this node is sending the data to this node is connecting the data, as well as this node also has some data. So collecting this node data and this node data, they are sending it to this node. Again, this node is collecting three nodes data and then it sends to this node. Again, this node is sending the data to this node, and this node will, as this node is geographically nearer to that tower, so this node will send directly to the tower. Got my point? So if I rather instead of this, if I send the data directly, that is called single hop transmission. Single hop transmission. So instead of this, what they are doing, they are sending the data to multi-hop transmission. So what is the advantage of multi-hop transmission over single hop transmission? That my battery dissipation will be, power dissipation will be much less in case of multi-hop transmission rather than single hop transmission. Okay, now here you can see that few of the nodes are in red color. Why it is so? Because this node's battery level is below the threshold limit. Means this node may die down at any moment. So for this, we need to have some precautionary measures. Means we need to either replace this node, or we need to go there physically and replace the battery of the node. Up to this much is clear to you, students? Student, up to this is clear, or you need the explanation again?
सर एक बार फिर से बता दीजिए, थोड़ा सा ब्रेक हो रहा है आपका आवाज.
आवाज ब्रेक हो रहा है? अभी भी ब्रेक हो रहा है?
सर बीच बीच में होता है, फिर आ जाता है.
ओके फाइन. Okay, so the basic principle of IoT or Internet of Things is that wireless sensor network, where a multiple number of nodes are distributed spatially means geographically as an autonomous devices across the field. Okay, and they create a network. Now, when they create a network, those nodes may be of two types. One is the stationary type, another is the mobile type. Now, if it is a stationary nodes, that case, how they are sending the data to the tower? They are sending the data. The tower means the sink, that the node that is collecting all the information. Here you can see that the trigonometrical shape. This is your tower. Okay. Now I have to send the data to the tower. All the nodes should send the data to the tower. So what are the possibilities of sending the data to the tower by all these nodes? That all these nodes can send the data directly. This node will send the data directly. This node will send the data directly. This node will send the data directly. But the problem with that is that each of the node, as they are in a physically distant location from this tower, so their power dissipation will be minimized. Power बहुत जल्दी उन लोगों का खत्म हो जाएगा. Instead of this, what they are doing, instead of sending the data directly to the tower or the cloud devices, they are sending the their data to its neighboring node. Neighboring node will collect their data as well as their data also. Means if this node is number 1, this is node number 2, this is node number 3, node number 4, node number 5. What happens that 1 will send the data to 2. Now 2 will send its data to 3. 3 में क्या send करेगा? 2 का data plus 1 का data. Now 3 will send this data to 4. Now 4 will get 3's data, 2's data and 1's data. And 4 will send the data to 5. That 5 will take the data of 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now it will collect all the data. After that it will send all those data to the tower directly. Now you got my point?
सर
बोलो.
सर एक क्वेश्चन था, अगर कोई सेंसर नोड का अगर ट्रांसमिशन जो क्या ट्रांसमिशन बैंडविड्थ या जो भी बोलेंगे सर, ट्रांसमिशन रेंज ये स्पेसिफिक होगा, तो अगर रेंज अगर सबसे ज्यादा होगा तो फिर बीच में अगर कोई नोड्स रहेगा तो फिर तो उस नोड को तो शायद अगर ट्रांसमिशन रेंज से अगर ज्यादा होता है, मतलब उस नोट को तो सर स्किप कर देगा शायद।
नहीं नहीं स्किप करेगा। सेंसर नोड का ट्रांसमिशन रेंज 150 मीटर, सॉरी ये सेंसर नोड से, सॉरी वो इस नोड्स, इस टाइप्स ऑफ नोड्स का ट्रांसमिशन रेंज 10 मीटर से ज्यादा नहीं होता। ओके, मान लो विदिन 10 मीटर्स, suppose this node within 10 meters there are two nodes are there, so it will check that out of these two nodes किसका सिग्नल सबसे स्ट्रांग आ रहा है उसके पास, it will find out that इसका सिग्नल सबसे स्ट्रांग आ रहा है तो इसको भेज देगा वो। It is nothing to relate with the transmission range. In transmission range के अंदर मेरा 100 nodes रह सकता है, but I will check that किससे मेरा signal strength ज्यादा आ रहा है। ऐसा भी हो सकता है, suppose for this node, it's a good question, for this node, okay, now here this node should send the data in this direction because transmission range के हिसाब से सॉरी सिग्नल के हिसाब से ये नोड सबसे नजदीक
हाँ
है
सर।
कि नहीं? हाँ?
Yes, sir.
But it is sending the data to this node. Why? Because it is get the higher signal strength from this node.
अच्छा सर।
ठीक है, तुम लोगों का मोबाइल में भी ऐसा
और
होता है।
बैंडविड्थ,
मान लो तुम अभी काजीरंगा यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर हो, जियो का कनेक्शन है, जियो का यहाँ पे दो टावर है, वन टावर इज बिहाइंड योर एसआर पेट्रोल पंप, अनदर टावर इज एट द, जो एक मंदिर है ना तुम्हारा ये जो सामने जो टी गार्डन है, टी
हाँ सर।
गार्डन के सामने एक मंदिर है ना, वहां पे भी एक टावर है। नाउ व्हिच जियोग्राफिकली व्हिच वन इज योर नियरेस्ट लोकेशन? द टावर व्हिच इज जस्ट बिसाइड द एसआर पेट्रोल पंप, राइट?
Yes, sir.
But sometimes you may get the signal, higher signal strength from the distant tower which is near the tea garden rather than from the tower which is nearer to you. तो
Yes,
वो
sir.
उसका सिग्नल पकड़ के ले लेगा।
अच्छा,
Now अभी टावर का सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ
स्पेसिफिकेशन
वेरी
देखते
करता है।
हैं।
हाँ बोलो।
हाँ सर।
टावर का
सर वो
सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ,
स्पेसिफिकेशंस देखते हैं।
हाँ बहुत सारे पैरामीटर्स के ऊपर वो डिपेंड करता है। उस टावर के अंदर अगर नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स अगर ज्यादा है, the tower's signal strength may get reduced. So this might be one of the reasons. Okay.
ओके सर।
So based on the signal strength, received signal, इसको बोलते हैं received signal strength, RSS. You can also check in your mobile. There are lots of apps are there. The apps to find out the received signal strength. तो वो तुमको दिखा देगा कि तुम्हारा नजदीक का टावर कौन सा है, उसका सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, जो थोड़ा दूर में है टावर उसका सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, और वो कौन सा सिग्नल टावर का सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ लेके बैठा है, और वो सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ भी कितना है वो भी बता देगा। You can download this app. It's a very interesting thing that, and these are not spam apps. You can download it and use it easily. और वो देखना बहुत जरूरी होता है। Sometimes you can check. किसी किसी होता है ना, if your neighbor's home on top of it if there is a tower, and the neighbors are getting the rent, that is why they put up those tower, but they don't bother about their neighbors health hazards. तो तुम्हारा नजदीक का कोई अगर पड़ोसी के पास वैसा टावर लगा हुआ है, यू कैन चेक द सिग्नल स्ट्रेंथ एंड इफ इट एक्सीड्स 39 dB, 39 dB is the threshold power received signal strength that is specified by Supreme Court. So if it reaches more than 39 dB, that case you can make a legal complaint.
ओके सर।
39 dB के ज्यादा होने से तुम इसका हेल्थ हैजर्ड आ जाता है। इसलिए देखना हॉस्पिटल के नजदीक में कोई टावर नहीं रहता है।
हाँ सर।
Because that tower electromagnetic interference may interfere with the your CT scan or MRI electromagnetic interference.
Yes sir.
So you can check what is the received signal strength. Similarly, your mobile node also act based on the received signal strength. Is this clear to you?
Yes sir, clear sir.
Okay, so is there any other question regarding this?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So, and this is all about whatever I have told. This is about the stationary node. So, if the node is moving, that case, the multi-hub connectivity, multi-hub transmission may not happen over here. So, we need to think of some alternative way. Okay, means that mobile nodes are also moving. ये कौशिक ना ऐसा काम किया हो ना जो तुम्हारा ऑपनेट में जो हम लोग जो डेटा कलेक्शन कर रहे थे that time the mobile nodes are also moving. So that time
Yes, sir.
how the receive based on the received signal strength, how the traffic is also changing and how to determine the QoS parameter. So
Yes, sir.
if the mobile nodes are also moving, that case the entire dynamics gets changed. Entire dynamic gets changed. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So how the story actually before long before this wireless sensor network, this concept of long before this IoT, the concept of wireless sensor network has taken place. Now, why already I have told you the story about that the story of the U.S. Pakistan Afghanistan border to find out that those who are intruder how to find out that they have intruded. So because we cannot send any physical army deployment to check that whether any infiltration is going on or not. So what they are doing, they are sending a million. They are spraying actually. They are spraying millions of pressure sensors along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, and based on the pressures generated from the infiltrator, so they come to know that so somebody is trying to intrude. Even in the Mount Fuji also, so they are every time they are deploying, they're spraying actually from the helicopter. They're spraying lots of sensor inside this Mount Fuji to check the temperature and pressure, and if there is any abrupt changes in the temperature or pressure or not. If there is any abrupt changes, then immediately it will be notified. Okay, so those stories already I have told to you. Now, what are the wireless sensor network components? The components are, one is the sensing components. I need to sense it. After that, I have to process it. And after processing, the whatever be the data comes to me, I have to transmit that data. Now, at the time of transmitting the data, I have to convert the data through an analog to digital converter. Why? Because I am sensing some data that is in analog way, 37 degree, 36 degree, 35.5 degree, like this. So these are the analog data I am getting. I need to convert it to in the form of a 0110110 because it ultimately it will go as a stream of binary bits, right? So who is going to convert this one? So there will be one ADC converter should be there. Those who are from the electronic background, they might be knowing that how the ADC converter takes place. I don't know whether in your digital electronics lab you have done your ADC conversion or not. So basically, through ADC conversion, your analog data will be converted to a digital data. Next important component is the power. So you should have a proper mechanism to harness your power, and there are several optional units are there, like your GPS. If you want to track the location of that device, because if the device is a movable device, that case I need to put one GPS, or if I want to check not only location orientation, yeah, in the 3D with respect to the 3D geographical 3D direction. So I need the accelerometer and everything. Okay, so sensing, processing, communication, ADC converter, power, optional units, GPS and accelerometer. These are the things are there. Okay, now next is the wireless sensor node. What are the components of the wireless sensor node? So in the wireless sensor node, you have the, if you consider a basic wireless sensor node, these components must be there. These are the optional components. that already we have told. So what are the optional components it may be?
GPS, accelerometer, sensing
GPS,
unit, sir.
accelerometer, here the mobilizer is written. So it depends what type of optional components you require. Okay. Next is your sensor. Now sensor is converting the data. Actually, it is sensing based on the and it is the sensors, ATC converter, processor, storage, transceiver. All are there. All are basically remain active based on whatever power is coming from the power unit. Okay. Now this power unit may be battery, fixed battery. Now that case you need to replace the battery when the power units goes below 30%. Power level goes below 30%. Or you can put some power generator. Power generator means you can put some solar system or solar panel over there, which will harness the power or generate the power or synthesize the power. Okay. Now your sensor is working, it is sensing, and after that the sensing data is in analog mode, and it will be converted to the ADC through the ADC converter, analog to digital converter, and then it will send to the processor, and the processor will process the data because the initial level filtering will be done by the processor, and also if I need to the data, particular data, I need to connect with the GPS data also. That means this from this temperature level I got in this particular location. If the node is moving, sensor node is moving. That case, whenever I got the through ADC, I got the temperature data immediately. I will check that what is its particular location from the GPS. So I will map that in this latitude, it is 82° east and 17° north. So in that latitude longitude, I got the data as 36°. Next, I will check again 82.001 and 17.002 degree north and east. I got the temperature 35.5. So what it is doing that it is embedding, it is mapping the GPS location with its sensor data. Now, if it has any storage device, it will store the data for the time being. It will collect the 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 15 minutes data collectively, and after that, it will transmit through transceiver. So, what is the full form of transceiver? Transceiver full form is transmitter and receiver.
Receiver.
Yes. So, in short, it is called transceiver. Is this clear, or shall I need to explain it again? Is this clear, students? Is it required? Is it okay, students? Okay, so the next option is after the enter, you have gone through the entire wireless components here, location, finding system, mobilizer, sensor. So these are the apart from this optional part, the rest of the part is the your mandatory portion. So whatever be your wireless sensor node, so these parts must be there within your wireless sensor node. So I am showing you some of the examples of wireless sensor node. So these are the nodes. Earlier, what happens that right now we get the sensors, and in that sensors, it is connected with the microcontroller basically. So the sensing part is separate, and also the microcontroller part is separate. Earlier, what happens that the sensors and microcontrollers are embedded, and it is costly also. Like this smart dust mode, actually, those sensor nodes are actually termed as the modes or the mica modes. Okay, so one of the sensor nodes was that smart dust mode. So its power level is only 33 milliampere, very small power level. So we and that 33 milliampere power source is given through the 5 hearing aid battery. So hearing aid के लिए जो छोटा छोटा बैटरी होता है वो बैटरी लगा के ये लोग ये माइका मोड्स को बनाया था. Do you can you imagine the size of this mica modes? This size is basically a 5 rupees coin. 5 rupees coin size, and its processing power is only 4 megahertz Atmel Avier microcontroller with 8 KB flash memory. So it's a basic level modes, and this type of wireless sensor networks are basically used 15 years before. So those stories are also from the 15 years before stories only. And the ROM size is only 512 bytes and 512 bytes of EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable ROM. So this is one of the example of spark dust mode. So one better version is the Mica Z, Mica Z or Mica 2. So the left one is the Mica Z and the right one is the Mica 2. So their power level is much more higher. That is 1400 to 3400 milliampere. You can see that actually they have connected to AA size battery. The pencil battery hota hai na? So they have connected to AA battery over here. You can check. So this is your AA battery. So they have connected to get the 1400 to 3400 milliampere of power source. So if you need the prolonged transmission from the sensor node, that case you can definitely use that Mica Z or Mica 2. Okay, so the next one is the SunSpot. So Sun Microsystem has developed this one. Again, this one is 750 milliampere lithium-ion battery, 180 megahertz, 32-bit ARM 92 0T core processor is there, and 512 KB RAM and 4 MB flash. So its hardware configuration is little bit higher. So this type of modes are basically available. That time it was 5,000 or 7,000 each mode. Okay, right now it is reduced drastically. The cost is reduced drastically. Another type is Telos B. So this is also 400 to 3400 milliampere. So whatever sensor nodes you are talking about, first they will check that what is its battery power, and is that there is a capability to harness the power, or is there any capability to generate a new power or not. So it is also based on two batteries, two alkaline batteries, two pencil batteries. So this one is a solar powered battery cell, HB, and you can see that there is a solar panel and also one microcontroller, and microcontroller is connected with the sensor node. I think it is not visible to you, right? XB is coming to your screen, students. Hello? Just check. Still it is not coming.